is Justin Sperandale. I am a creative strategist at Flying Fork Media. We're an interactive and digital agency, and I'm here today to speak with the kids at Bethel Park about the importance of a sound education, as it can give you the foundation you need to begin your career. So thanks for coming to hang out here for a little bit. I'm nervous, so bear with me if I trip or stumble or do something gross. I just want to start with, I'm 41 right now, and I couldn't tell you what I want to do for a living. No idea. Kind of go where life takes me. But
That's scary for me because he's my employee. No, I'm just kidding.
Doesn't bode well for the future. Never again. So I went to film school at Montana State University. Anybody ever heard of that?
Hi, I'm sorry.
Nobody? You ever heard of Montana?
I know so.
The Rocky Mountains up there in northwestern U.S. Big sky country, some of the best skiing in the world. Anyways, they have a really cool film program out there. It's the Media Theater Arts. And it's really great because the kids coming out of that program have a pretty good reputation in Los Angeles as being like hard workers and they know their stuff. So I finished film school, and then I moved to Los Angeles, California, with $300, a backpack, and a sleeping bag. And I was chasing my filmmaking dreams with no idea where that was going to lead me. I started off like with most film graduates. Spent all that time in college. You get prepared, you get that degree, and you find out in the film world it's pretty much useless. You're better off with a Starbucks card because it'll get you further than that film degree. So like most college graduates, I ended up working at a video store for minimum wage at the Pico in La Cienega in the heart of Hollywood. That provided with some of the most entertaining stories I've ever seen, because you'll be surprised who comes in to rent movies at like 12 midnight in Hollywood. There's some very interesting people. But a few months later, I got what I call my first lucky break, and I had I sent resumes all over town, just like everybody else does. You don't know anybody, you don't have any connections. You send out resumes everywhere, and I got a hit back. And a week later, I ended up getting hired as a personal assistant for a guy named Jerry Bruckheimer. Does anybody know who that is? Pirates of the Caribbean? Anybody?
Jerry Bruckheimer.
CSI Miami.
CSI. Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
Pearl
Heard of it?
Harbor, Black Hawk Down. Without a Trace. So Jerry Bruckheimer is one of the most prolific, yeah, this is kind of fun. He's one of the most prolific film and television producers. So he goes all the way back to like Flashdance, Top Gun, The Rock, Armageddon, Con Air, Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, Bad Boys 1 and 2, all the pirate movies, National Treasures. I saw CSI get born, I saw Amazing Race get born, and then for like the next 5, 6, 7 years of my life, I basically went around the world in private charter. Was very fun. I don't know if you guys have ever flown on a private jet. It's great. You just pull up to the airport, you get your tail number, you get out, you walk on the plane, and you go. It's really the best way to fly, and I recommend it for everyone. That experience changed me forever because what I learned in school was able to, a lot of people say school, you're going to learn the foundation for your professional career. School gave me the tools I needed to then apply them to my first, what I call my first real job, and then I was able to start to build my foundation for my professional career. So that time in LA was just, without a better word, was nuts. Met everyone, saw everyone, all behind the scenes, the parties, this and that. But what an experience to learn how to multitask, to learn how to think ahead and anticipate the needs of the people around you and your employers. It taught me how to be cool under pressure. One example would be, anyone hear the movie Black Hawk Down? A couple guys? It was the most amazing, profound experience of my life. I was on location in North Africa, in Morocco. We actually didn't get to go to Marrakesh or Casablanca. We were in Rabat, which is kind of like an armpit, but it was a great location, and we set dressed it, so we made it look like 1993 Somalia. All the major young actors at the time who were big stars now were in that movie, which was really cool to meet all these guys before they got big, like Josh Hartnett and Tom Hardy, and I think there's just the list goes on and on. But there was a point in time where we were trying to get the actual Black Hawk helicopters into Morocco. And the Sultan, or the king, was very, a little trepidatious. He's like, oh, you're going to fly all these warplanes into my country, and we're worried you guys might take over. So we had been filming for several months in advance, shooting every possible scene we could other than the actual Black Hawk crash. And we were, the time was ticking. We're running out of time. We've got 1,000 people on this set. The clock's ticking. The money is racking up. And I remember Jerry had me put like a call together, and I had, you know, Mr. Bruckheimer on the call, and then I'm using my early cell phone, like first world phone. It was very primitive at the time. I had the Secretary of Defense, Ronald Rumsfeld, on the line. And then I also had some representative of the Moroccan military, and I got them all on a conference call, and we're talking about how we're going to work this out. It's like, okay, we got everybody together, go. And I'm sitting there, and no, to this day, none of them ever knew. I looked down, and my phone was flashing battery, about to die. So if you want to talk about pressure in the work environment, close your eyes, pray, please don't let this phone die, because I have all these people on this call. So I survived that phone call, was able to work it out. We did the movie. It was an amazing experience. And then as that job continued, it's hard to explain, like, so if you're doing a movie, you've got like 1,000 roughly employees. And each movie has its own set of personalities and attitudes that people bring to the table. So we're doing Black Hawk Down. You're dealing with Branko Lustig, who was actually a World War II concentration camp survivor. And he's this really big, awesome, burly German dude. And he's like super, super angry. It makes you really shake in your pants. So you're trying to deal with him, and he's got, you know, his executive producers, line producers, makeup, electric, this department, all the logistics of working on a film in Africa, the actors, the talent, the agents, the studios. You're like, oh my God, and you're trying to deal with that. So that's basically the morning. And then we're going to talk to Joel Schumacher, this director, and his movie that he's got going on in Prague today. You're dealing with all their problems that's going on. This guy got in trouble, and tabloid news, and what's happening here. Then you're going to switch, and you're going to talk to this movie crew that's going on in Australia right now for this movie, Kangaroo Jack. Did anyone see that? Kangaroo, he stole the money, he's not giving it back? No. No, it's a really bad movie, but it was great because we shot it in Australia, and I got to, free to Australia. So then, we deal with that, and at the same time, we're dealing with television just coming on here. So I was stuck in the middle trying to like coordinate, delegate, relegate, interpretate, and just make sure everything was happening. As crazy as that job was being a young kid, it really started to add to my foundation. And those things that I learned in school started to click and make sense of like, oh, this is how you project manage. This is how I can efficiently coordinate and schedule. Oh, this is what they mean by thinking ahead and anticipating things. So I did that for almost 7 full years. After that, I did a little brief stint as a director of development, and I got really lucky and I sold 2 screenplays. I've never been produced, but I did sell a feature in a television show, so that was pretty cool for me. And then the year was 2000. And we had the economy was really tanking, and you probably remember, it's what year? It's 2014, right? Yeah, that's a long time ago.
You guys have to worry about that.
Yeah, ask your parents about the economy, what's going on in 2007. There was a very famous writer's strike, which basically took about half of the working people in Los Angeles and put them on the unemployment line like that. The studios just cut back. There was the fires in Malibu. I had just gotten married. I was having a baby on the way, and my wife, who at the time, was girlfriend, now my wife, she was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She went to North Cackle, and she lived in Squigley. And she said, you know what, let's move to Pittsburgh. So, and mind you, she had started on ER, West Wing, and now was a producer for Warner Brothers on Supernatural. Does anyone know that show? It's still on the air, right? Like 10, 11 years now. So I was always very impressed that she had that accomplishment, and you know what, she just wanted to be a mom and take the next chapter in her life, and so I supported that, and we moved to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
We know that place.
Pittsburgh. This is great outside today. It's early November and it's freezing. I was in Santa Monica and I was 12 blocks from the ocean, and I pretty much just rode my bike and skateboarded wherever I wanted to go. So there was some adjusting for me. Landed in Pittsburgh, didn't know what I was going to do. We were literally starting over. At this point, I'm 35. And so I really just threw the dice. And for a while, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had, support, some savings to get by. And then I finally met a friend of a friend of a friend. So don't ever underestimate the power of making friends and keeping connections. Because no matter who you are, what industry you go in, you want to be very careful about burning bridges, because the guy you hate today might be the guy you're trying to get a job from tomorrow. It's a very important lesson to keep in mind. So through whatever connections and nepotism, I had a lady friend hooked me up with the guy who owned an ad agency that were based out of Miami, Florida. It's called Ronan Advertising. They had the Miami-Dade Expressway Authority. They did a college down there. And they had the big account, which was a national account, Millennium Partners. They're luxury developers out of New York. So they built the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carltons, and they had their first self-branded building in San Francisco called Millennium Tower. Joe Montana lived there. Someone's got to know who that is.
I know who that
There you
is.
go. All right. Going up on the relevancy notch here today. So yeah, a lot of high celebrities. So we're basically selling the most expensive real estate in the most expensive city at the worst possible recession that we've had since the Great Depression. So having that task, boy, did I learn a lot about marketing. So my first break at that job was, they said, you know what, Justin, you're very interesting. I like you. The best thing I can do is offer you a job as a junior copywriter. And that job basically pays about $0. So I'm like, cool. Talk about a kick in the face. And I'm like, you know what, I'll take it. So day one, I went in there and they're like, okay, here's our client. They need an idea for a campaign. I pitched them 2 ideas. 3 months later, they shot that commercial. And then, which ran, not nationally, it just ran in the San Francisco area. Shortly thereafter that, as a junior copywriter, I started just, with any job, you know, I'm seeing like what's going on, get my lay of the land. And all I heard from the other people I work with was, oh, you know, yeah, we understand you want this, but you don't have any experience. Oh yeah, I understand you want this, but you don't have any experience. And I'm like thinking to myself, no, really? No, I don't have any experience. You know, I might not have sat at a desk at an agency for 3 years, but believe me, the things I've done and seen kind of outweigh what you could imagine as far as having experience. But I kept my mouth shut and I worked very, very hard. And then I started to see the other people. So most agencies are split down the middle. You have creative services and account services. So your creative team is going to be your writers, your designers, all those type of crazy, fluffy people. And then account service, kind of like left brain, right brain. They run the accounts, they make sure everything's good, they're billing their clients, and they're growing the agency. When I saw what account services was doing, and I'm like, huh, that doesn't seem that hard. I'm like, you know, I think I can do that. And they're like, are you sure you want to leave copywriting? By the way, I went quickly from junior to senior copywriter within a couple of months. And I was like, hello, I did sell a screenplay. I can write an ad for Icy Lake Beer. Anyways, so then when I saw what account service did, I quickly was able to reach back to those experiences I had about, hey, you know what, this is just common sense. Coordinate, think ahead. Do those same things I was doing as a personal assistant. They quickly were applicable in the agency world, so then I was able to move up. And then when I ran that account successfully, all of a sudden I heard, hey, we need to hire two new copywriters for this account. And since I was on that account, I'm like, 2 new copywriters, that pays double what I'm making now. Actually, I'm done with account services, and I'm going to go backward to copywriting. They're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, why not? And then this one of the ladies I worked with, she hated the fact that I was bouncing around. And they're like, okay, we'll try you. And so they tried to grill me. They were throwing so much writing at me. They're like, if you miss one deadline, and mind you, half these things are writing work, like just arbitrary, but I never missed a deadline. I always got it done ahead of time, and I always exceeded the expectations of others. So then after almost a year of doing that, we opened up another side of our agency, which is kind of where a lot of the marketing world is going today. They're understanding the value of inbound marketing. Anyone know the difference between inbound marketing and what it is? How about push-pull advertising? Can you explain push-pull? Messages that a push is like an ad, TV. You know, oh, hey, there's a billboard. Oh, here's whatever. That's push. So inbound people think of it as pulling you in, but it's as simple as we live in a digital age. I know this. You guys have heard of Google, right?
I have.
Yeah. Okay, now we're on to something. Someone tells you something that somewhat sparks an interest, whether it's a good sandwich, a deal on clothes, a concert coming to town. What's the very first thing you do to learn more about it?
Google it.
Thank you. It's now a verb. Before it was a thing, and now it's a verb. So what clever marketers are learning is the consumer behavior. The first time they hear of something, we know you're going to Google it. So what we're trying to do in inbound marketing is we understand our clients, first of all, their clientele, who their customers are, and what are their customers' behaviors. So when they go to search for their interests online, we can very cleverly make sure happen that when you're looking for what interests you, you'll find my client's brand parked right there on that first page, Google search result above the fold. That's when we're really good at what we do. So anyways, that's inbound marketing. Spent the time at Ronin, and then was able to leave that agency because it taught me a lot, but there's people in front of me and I wasn't going to go much further. At this point now, I was hoping to have baby number 2, which I now have, and wanted to keep growing my career. So I left the agency world to go to what we call the client side of business, and there was a pretty successful startup here in Pittsburgh. They do HR software called The Resumator. So I got lured over there, actually recruited to be their senior content marketing manager and media manager. So I was able to apply a little bit of my sizzle from LA, my good thinking from the agency, to help grow that account. I did that for less than a year, and I found out I really didn't like being on just the client side of things, because all you do is deal with that one brand. Like all day long, it's the same, it's the same, it's the same, as opposed to the agency where, oh, I could be working for this, and then I'm on this account, then this account. So then I had a friend call me up, and he actually recruited me to Flying Cork Media, where, did you get everything about Flying Cork?
This is different.
So Flying Cork is a digital interactive agency. Does anyone read Inc. magazine? No? It's more like, there we go. So how about Shark Tank? Mark Cuban, those type of guys? You know what an entrepreneur is?
Oh, I do.
Yes, entrepreneur. So Inc., you can tell you're an entrepreneurial spirit over there. So Inc. magazine holds this ranking every 3 years called the Inc. 5000. It's about the fastest growing companies. And they measure this by your success and the money you're earning, the amount of people you have on your staff. So I'm really proud to say, and kudos to Mr. Michaels, this is my employer, by the way. So I gotta be nice. He's so smart. Flying Cork Media is actually, I don't know if you guys know this, you can brag when you're out in circles with your other agency friends from out of town. Right here in Pittsburgh is the fastest growing company, Flying Cork Media. #1 fastest growing company in Pittsburgh. In the nation, we're number 19 out of all agencies. We're how many people? 20? 20. Yeah, 20 today. And we're talking about companies, there's out there, you've heard of Bruner, Mullen, these big New York, LA, Miami agencies. We're killing it. Right now we're number 19th in the entire country. And then as far as companies all together, not industry specific, we're the 137th fastest growing company in the United States of America. You guys might not think that's much, but when you go to work, hey, you know what, I can wear that with pride, that we've accomplished so much, that we've had that recognition, that's even worse. So today, I've had a multitude of titles, and I've recently taken on the role as a creative strategist.
Self-named creative strategist.
You gotta learn to give yourself your own promotion. You know what I mean? Just go for it.
We let people pretty much name their titles after a while.
He's like, I saw your LinkedIn profile, and you just gave yourself a new title? He's like, okay, that's cool. Yes! You know what I mean? That's how you get ahead of the world. Anyways,
He needs a raise, so he just
But as a creative strategist, what that means for you guys who are interested in marketing is I have the luxury now of going to work with very successful CEOs and presidents of big organizations and companies, and I get to go in there and tell them why what they're doing is wrong and why you should do it my way. And then they do it my way and make more money, and then I say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. So that is pretty much what I do for a living across several different accounts, and it couldn't be, couldn't be much more fun. So that's kind of my career in a nutshell. I'm sorry to get more laughs or giggles, but do you guys have any questions with regards to agency world, trying to break through in film? Don't be shy, come on, something. I can stand on one leg, got a question? You got something, come on. No. Come on, entrepreneur? Yes.
How many hours a week do you put into it?
Right now, as a creative strategist, I have to be honest, the job never leaves your brain. It's on your mind. If it's not on your mind, you don't care, you're not doing your job right. Agency life is great because it's a lot about culture. It's competitive because a lot of agencies are popping up. Mr. Michaels actually has for us on Fridays, we're out of the office at 3 o'clock. It's just a perk, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to give us that, but we do. And we don't micromanage our staffs. Some people, Harry, but most of us, if you're getting your job done in this day and age, he can go on his phone app right now, and we use a project management software called Basecamp, and he can, if I can do that, he can actually see what's going on. So my job isn't necessarily about how many hours do I sit in a chair. It's with me, it's on the go. So I never turn it off. So if I have something at home, my kids are sick, I have the freedom to say, hey, I need to leave at 3, or hey, I'm going to come in at 10. But in general, we aim for, get to work 7, 8 o'clock, go home 4 or 5 o'clock. But as long as the work's getting done, there's never really a question or a concern, and that is kind of unique to agency life. I don't know a lot of other industries where they're like, if I had to punch a ticket and I punch a ticket out, yeah, no thanks, that's not for me.
But explain to him the difference between, the type of culture that we create with work-life balance versus real agency life, Mark Bruner type agency life, where it is.
Yeah, I'll get to that. So, can anyone see this? Do you see this little circle? This is a project management software we use called Basecamp. In it, you create tasks and to-dos. My little icon is Gumby. Don't ask, I like Gumby. But you can just scroll through there. And it timestamps every time I do a project. So you can see Gumby was very busy this morning. Even on a day like today, Gumby was getting it done. So that's kind of a cool thing. Within the agency, you're able to have that view to what your people are doing. So like the difference of culture versus the big agencies, some of those big agencies, all you're doing is you're moving an Excel sheet column. Like your job is to move 0.1%. Because it's this huge agency, it's a stodgy culture, it's hire and fire, it's like, I need, who's a big company? It's just Dick's, let's make it up. Okay, we have Dick's Sporting Goods, okay, great. Something bad happened with Dick's, you're all fired. And then we want to get all new people, you know, wait a minute, I had nothing to do with that, I was this, you know, but who don't want to hear it, you're all done. You know, it's like going to work for corporate America, it's a much different, where if you're in a small, we're still technically a startup, we haven't, you know, crossed out yet. We're in that startup culture where it's more and more like a boutique agency, and we're honing in on our niche, our special thing that we do that no other agency is really going to provide. Because the days of saying, like, think about it, the top, what are the commercials you all see the same? So the top 1%, there's always going to be a McDonald's commercial, there's always going to be a Burger King commercial, there's going to be a Coke commercial, there's going to be a Pepsi commercial. That's for those companies, radio, TV, Super Bowl ads, but there's hundreds of thousands of small to medium-sized businesses that are competing for attention, and they do it in the digital space. So they know now consumers, you hear something, you like it, you go to Google and you type, and that's where we're touching you with your ads. That's where we're finding you on Facebook. That's where we're finding you on Twitter. All your social media profiles, we're able to gather that data and then serve you ads that are relevant to your searches. Anybody else?
So you said there's about 20 different people. In the last class we talked about, you take a look at the analytics, people do content. Are people responsible for doing all of these different activities, or do you have people devoted to different aspects of the?
We have people devoted to different aspects. So we have, you know, the SEO team, the interactive advertising team. So our good friend Dan Monarco sits at the top. He's got a guy all day long who's going to, well, he's got a team of people all day long who focus specifically in Google AdWords. That's jockeying for the position of the client for the best price of where that ad is served. You know, you need first position, or you need third position, and they're doing the analytics and whatnot. And we have people that are dedicated just to social media, so they're doing all the blogging, the tweeting, and creating those rich online profiles. We have the account managers who have these teams of people doing these features, and they're understanding and deciphering the client's goals and wishes. So I'll go talk to the client, he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He basically describes outer space, and then I'll interpret that to like what he really wants. It's like, okay, we're doing this really cool thing, and it's going to have a star in it. You know what I mean? Then you translate that down to your teams, and then they're able to execute. And then we have the same thing with our designer, our creative department. We've got an awesome new creative director who I couldn't be more pleased with the type of work that he's bringing to the table. And then he kind of manages his team, and then we put it all together. So creative goes onto a landing page. The landing page gets put into the digital buying space. Our team then monitors that landing page, and then we then get the performance from that landing page and take it in return and report it back to the client. We have clients spending upwards of near, I would say, roughly, like $500,000 a month in digital advertising. So it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of cash going out the door, and you're in charge with how that's spent to achieve their advertising goals. You guys were thinking about a question when you went down. Come on.
I got a question. What would your title be if you didn't make one up for yourself?
Creative strategist, it is a title. Yeah. I was account supervisor, but like I'm looking at what I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm like, I'm really playing more the role of a creative strategist.
Oh.
But before I had Supreme Chancellor of Creative, you didn't go for it.
So do you feel like you use your film background in what you do now?
Every single day. When it comes down to being cool in the fire, coming up with an idea, the things that I learned in film school, I'm then able to translate, because everywhere I've been in advertising, there's, hey, we want to make client testimonial videos because that's really good, they have SEO value. I make client testimonial videos that look like Michael Bay movies because I know how to. Even at our job, we do webisodes and other little video marketing campaigns. When we get behind it, if we write it, it stands apart from the other type of production in town. Because one thing you learn in film, production quality is everything. Everyone go out there with their iPhone now and put together a little movie. But if you know how to give oomph, you know what I mean? Like that production quality, that gloss, and you've saturated colors, and you know how to do shadows, and you work the lighting correctly, you mix your sound appropriately, you get someone actually professionally score it, not just stock music. You know, you've got real symphony going there. You'll separate yourself from the pack every time.
If I was looking to make, like, if I was looking to go into a future of filmmaking, what would you recommend my story?
Start shooting now. Don't stop. You've got the greatest edge because digital is so easy. I went to school and was film, it was tough. when I just talked about production quality, it was really hard to compete against, no offense to rich people, to like the trust fund kid whose parents gave him, $20,000 to like shoot on 16mm, and you're like bouncing and working at a bar to scrape up enough money to do like cheesy Super 8. So your stuff ended up looking like early Peter Jackson, which is like, I don't even know who, Peter Jackson, the director, anyone? Who knows his early films? Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, we know him now. Anyone can go back further? It's your homework assignment is go look up old Peter Jackson movies. You will be shocked at what a schlocky, low-budget horror king, and that's where his cult following comes from. He made some of the worst, awful $2 movies. Like $2 movies, but he made them well, and that's why he became who he is. But if you want to get in it, there's nothing to stop you from now. Figure out what you want to do, though. If you're going to be a shooter, a director, or photography, cinematographer, or do you want to be a director, or do you want to be an editor? Because that all changes. And then there's guys that do the 3-in-1, the triple threat. They can compose music, they can shoot, and they can direct. And there's not that guy there. He gets work. He gets work a lot. But start making your movies. Get them up on YouTube. Get your fans following you. Make a blog about it. Talk about it. Say, hey, what's your name? Luke. Hey, man, I'm Luke from Bethel. Here's my page. Guys, check it out. Get your friends. You got 20 in the classroom right now that can tweet. That type of engagement will latch on, and Google will start paying attention to you. Every week, put out a new something. It could be a 30-second comedy series. What's your favorite genre?
Action.
What's your favorite action movie?
Never really thought about
Give me your top 10, because that's a very hard question. I believe me, I know. I'm a self-proclaimed sci-fi nerd, film dork. I have an unofficial PhD in Kung Fu, and I've made more cheesy action movies than you could possibly imagine. Dude, Hong Kong cinema, I'll go deep. I'll nerd out with you all day long. I'll go all the way back to Peking Opera, Man, Jet Li, Chow Yun-fat, Young Biao, all those early guys. No favorite big ones? Nice. That was, I can't, Ridley Scott, the director?
Yeah.
You look at his resume, that by far, like seeing all the pirate movies, the bad boy movies, being around Michael Bay, there was nothing like Ridley Scott. Everything was real. And when they blew up stuff, Ridley Scott frames this like this, a shot like this. So we're gonna say action. Imagine this, we're in a hangar. You got 50 troops lined up, right? So he's framing the shot. This is how far his eye goes. He's like, okay, you guys all had your thing, you got your script, you two are talking, you guys are doing mindless banter, you guys are field strapping your rifles, and you guys are packing your thing. Okay, action, scene starts. Okay, cue guards now who walk outside that door. Now cue behind that the convoy of Hummers and tanks going by. Now get the freaking airplanes to fly right by there in the eye level. That's pretty darn impressive to time all that. But really, we're just watching you two in your conversation. But to make that scene look as bad as it is, you have all those things happen. It's really impressive. So in this day and age, yeah, it's about separating yourself from the pack. Find your niche, find out what makes you cool, work with like-minded people. It's easy to get actors, go to your drama department. They'll work for free all day long. The greatest trick in the world, hey, you come work for my low-budget movie, I'll give you a copy of it for your portfolio. Great, fair trade. Sweet.
All right.
Anybody else?
Can you give them an example, maybe, if you don't have to say the client, but maybe a favorite account you've worked on, or a cool problem you've helped solve, or results?
I would have to say one of the, I'll define favorite as profound.
Okay.
It's when I worked at Ronin, and we were hired by the Miami-Dade Expressway Authority, and we were doing their Don't Text and Drive campaign, which I can't tell you what an epidemic it is. I keep these, just so you know, if you ever get hit with one of these when you're driving and texting, you know it came from me. That's how I roll. I'm driving, I see you texting, whack, right out the window. I hope you crash.
Doesn't that really defeat the purpose?
That's perfect, man. But that account, we had a real challenge. This early YouTube, trying to understand engagement there, and how are you going to, a lot of people were doing Don't Text and Drive campaigns. We had some really different choices to make of how we were going to achieve it, and we decided to go really, and I actually disagreed, so I was stood up on this decision, but being a part of the project, I can still take pride in its accomplishment. I wanted to go a different approach, and the girl who was my senior, she went right for like the heartstrings. So it's literally, I think the name of the video is Text the Last Word, it's the campaign, and it starts with little kid, he's driving, beautifully shot, and it's lighting, and he's in the back seat, the mom's checking the mirrors, making he's okay. He gets out, come on, Billy, and they walk, and then you see the hand grab, and then you establish widen frame, exposed. What's it called? What dead people in the coffin. Widen again, strain to get a funeral procession. And it's all the tone really starts to change, and they take this body up, the preacher, oh, we really miss so-and-so. They're lowering the dad into the grave, and the kid's crying, and he's sitting there holding, he's holding the shattered phone, like the text to him on my way home. The dad was texting his kids, on the way home, texting and driving, crashed and died. Video got 1 million hits, it's over that now on YouTube, that's not easy to do. It wasn't like a viral gimmicky thing, it was a very powerful campaign. So the challenges, there were many creative battles, how to execute it. I was on the wrong side of the creative that day, but I learned a valuable lesson from it. But I'd have to say it's one of my more favorite, profound things being a part of, because I personally support that agenda. Where it's like, I want to have that advice where you go in a car and your phone is boom, it's dead. Like an EMP pulse, you can't turn back on to get off. Sweet. Anybody? No movie guys? Real deal on stars with TMZ up here. I'll tell you what you want to know.
Okay, tell us.
What do you want to know about?
Everything. Biggest diva, in other words.
The biggest diva. Well, I work for Jerry Bruckheimer movies. So we generally didn't have big diva types.
Well, like,
I give you man diva, Will Smith. Jerry, we got to talk. Martin's got 11 trailers, Martin Lawrence. He's got 11 trailers on set. He's got his barbershop, he's got his gym, he's got grandma over there. I have 11 trailers, Jerry. Jerry, I should have 12 trailers. I'm Will Smith. Independence Day? So stuff like that would go on, and my jaw would just drop. Get him 12 trailers. He's the star. Okay. And he's a total prima donna. Cuba Gooding Jr. is one of the nicest guys in the world. I know he's not real popular with movies right now. He's kind of going like straight to video. If you remember Jerry Maguire, show me the money. Cuba played hockey with him like every night out in LA. Jerry ran a hockey league, so I could play with a lot of celebrities. And actually went to Sydney right before he went pro. Cool tidbit. Anybody like hockey? Took Crosby in the corner, showed him what it's really all about. Not kidding. Who else? The Nightmare guys are like Michael Bay, that director of Transformers. I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't over offer. Anyone know what I mean by that? If you want to be a nice guy in a professional environment, I make the mistake of saying, hey, it's a big meeting on Saturday afternoon, we're in the office, Michael Bay. Hey, I'm helping people. Oh, can I get you something? Sure. Here's a water. Yeah, here's your sliced fruit. Oh, Mr. Bay, can I get you anything? Yeah, Pinks? Hot dogs? That'd be great. Chili on the side? Like anyone knows now, we live in Santa Monica. Pinks is 40 minutes away in West Hollywood, and there's usually about a line, about an hour and a half to wait for it. And I'm like, kind of like, beep, 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 is going to ask for a Pink's hot dog on a Saturday afternoon. And so I looked at my boss, Jerry, he just goes, see you later. He's like, and I came back, he's like, you learned. I said, no. I'm like, hello, everyone. I have a water. And you walk away. You learn not to say, what would you like? Because some of those prima donna Hollywood types will ask you to go get a hot dog that's going to take you 3 hours round trip.
Was he there when you got back?
Yeah, I thought that was cold. There you go, dude. You can look at yourself.
did he eat the hot dog?
Did he eat the hot dog? You know what? I think he just like poked at it for a little bit. You guys know who Christopher Walken is?
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy, Christopher Walken is the weirdest human being I've ever met. You go to a dinner with him and he'll literally just sit there with silverware, just move food around for 45 minutes. I swear he's like playing a game like his head is like, he doesn't talk. It's 45 minutes. Like people are talking around after a while, like, pass the salt just right over his head. It's like, oh, he's in a little world.
Any thoughts on salaries? Like, is Pittsburgh at all a market for film and video, or do you have to do more what you're doing and use it creatively to do something else? Do you have to go to LA with a backpack, basically?
No, I don't think you. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's New York and there's LA. It really comes down to if you really want to get in it, go all in, put the chips in and try, you got to go to the big market. What with that said, look, there's production companies, there's agencies like us, we don't necessarily do film and television anymore, but there's companies all around town, I can name 5 that do quality work, that are doing commercials and other types of short films. Pittsburgh's been on the cusp. I know a few years ago when Matt was here, it was like, it's the new Hollywood. It's not yet. You're getting a steady flow of features. There's production here, so if you want to go production, but there's 2 sides of the business. Production is production. You're kind of like, you're a construction worker with a special skill, where you can be on the creative side, which is your director, your cinematographer, actor, sound mixer. So it's very, very, very different. Reality TV is taking off out here. There's a couple of shows in town. You guys know they shoot here? Dance Moms?
Yeah.
So my brother is he's a professional reality television editor. So he's still in LA. So he started on The Hills, and he bounced around to the last shows. He did Dance Mom for like 5 minutes. He's like, this is the worst piece of crap I've ever seen. And he walked off of it, and now he kind of regrets that. Any questions about reality TV? Does anyone think it's real?
No.
Thank goodness.
Reality TV.
Glad you're not falling for it.
I just don't watch it. It's stupid.
Unless it's something you're interested in, but the only real reality TV is like Cops. That's real. That's Cops chasing that guy. But all the other stuff is just a cheap way to. Reality TV was a way for them to make money without paying union wages to writers and actors and editors. Is really the truth of it. All that stuff's scripted. They call them a reality producer. You're script. You're right. Yes.
Our game shows real.
Game shows real.
Like kind of like the challenge. Like Survivor and stuff like that, like Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
I mean, some of it is, but there's always like you're tilting it toward a result that you kind of want. Amazing Race is real, but Big Brother, those are actors. You know what I mean? They're actors who haven't been hit yet, so they want to act. They might have had some local work. They're like, oh, you'll be perfect. They cast for those. You got to have like this type of disposition. You're the angry whatever, or you're the nice little, this guy. Yeah, you got to clash. All right, that's gonna make good drama. Anything else? Anybody?
Bridezillas.
Bridezillas, you like that one?
Yeah, they like actually that mean.
Yes. Having seen some Bridezillas in my day, and I know they exist, that show is very fabricated as well. Cooking shows, you guys like that?
Is that real food?
Food shows are pretty real. Those are real. But yeah, so I mean, look, to wrap it up, you guys want to have questions? The things you learn in school, don't ever feel like you have to put the pressure on yourself today to say, this is what I'm going to be when I'm 60. Come on. It's not like you go to work for a big conglomerate. Entrepreneurialism is on the rise more and more. Guys like Jake get their own companies and is able to, have his own world. Doesn't have to go answer to anybody else. There's more and more of that opportunity. And what you learn in college gives you the tools, in my opinion, to then start building your foundation. So it's important. Chase your dreams.
Would you recommend things like internships, shadows, and things like that to really see the different sides of what you can do with them?
Yep, absolutely. Almost every friend I had back in LA is now either a studio executive, a vice president at a network, because they all did either the internship or started as an assistant, because it's like a one-to-one type of thing where you don't make a lot of money, but you get all the exposure in the world. And kind of the unofficial trade-off is when you finish that, you have the skills that they go do that job. There's no middle steps. With Jerry, I went and I started producing stuff. I started selling scripts and putting deals together. Work like that. I mean, it took a lot, 7 years to do it, but Writer Strike killed my project. It was a year and a half of work on it, down the drain, but it is possible. Hi, my name is Justin from Flying Cork Media, and this is our president, Jude Michaels. And we're Pittsburgh's fastest growing company. We were recently honored by Inc. magazine. They put out a tri-annual, so every 3 years of publishing of the fastest growing companies. And we were honored to be recognized as the #1 for Pittsburgh, number 19 in the nation, and the 131st overall just industry non-specific company. And Mr. Michaels, can you tell me how you feel about that?
I feel great because people like Justin contributed to that. And without great digital and interactive strategists, creative strategists, and everybody else at Flying Cork Media, as well as the great customers that we have, we wouldn't be where we are today. I came through Bethel Park through my wife, Kristen Michaels, who's a guidance counselor, and I've been wanting to do the career series for a while. And
he told me he'd dock me 3 days pay if I didn't come.
Believe that.
And also there was a competitor who wanted this spot, so I certainly did not want to let him have it.
Do you think it's important to come and talk to high school kids?
Absolutely, because this is going to be, in 4 to 6 years, these are the people that are going to be knocking on our doors, wanting a job and wanting to hone their skills.
This is the big time for digital or something. This is like
These kids today, the way they behave online, their actions they take through Twitter, Facebook, and everything, this is the intel that we're going to need. This generation is going to give us those experiences and those consumer behaviors that are going to allow us to then translate that for our clients to make them more effective in the advertising space.
What did you think of the students you talked to today? Interactive?
You're interactive. Justin's very interactive. Mine, I did a little more classroom seminar type. What I learned was, in my world of marketing and all the acronyms that we use, really don't translate to the 16, 17-year-olds. So
This was a case study for you.
this was a case study for me of saying, really, I'm getting old, because when a classroom doesn't know who Martin Scorsese is,
Yeah, I felt pretty dated today.
yeah, I felt old.
Do you think it's worthwhile with the whole career seminar itself?
Absolutely, because you cannot. They need immersion. They need decision. There's so many with technology out there today, and so much that you can read on Google. You may not know what you want to do. So hearing from somebody who does it every day, who is approachable, who is standing right in front of you, is a lot different than what you're going to Google online when you Google career in online media.
Closing remarks?
I had a great time.
I had a great time. I think this is a fantastic program. This young gentleman here asked some great questions. I feel blessed just to have an opportunity to give him some insights from my own experiences, and I've come back to do that all day long.
I believe that every executive, every employee should have the opportunity to give back, to teach, to share what you love to do every day with students.
I am just so happy that we have professionals like this who are willing to come in and talk to our students. The big forum where the kids just wander around, it doesn't give them this level of personalization. So I hope that our students moving forward reach out to professionals like Justin and like Jude and hold on to that experience, use it for job shadowing, use it for internships, use it as a future contact. Because really seeing it firsthand is what's going to be most important in their career development.